What is up, gamers, and welcome back to another episode of our F1 2020 Driver Career Mode, episode number 19 today for the Singapore Grand Prix. If you missed our previous video, the Italian Grand Prix, be sure to check that one out. A drama-filled race that had us committing one of the stupidest mistakes we've ever committed in our career, but we've got to put that aside and look forward to Singapore. And as you can see, we've got a rear downforce upgrade, major downforce upgrade in, and we're going to invest in a turbo durability upgrade, as well as a minor upgrade for our ERS system. So a lot of upgrades coming in, and with all the upgrades that we have completed so far, with that major rear downforce upgrade, we pass Haas in the performance index to retake being the 8th best car on the grid. Of course, you want to aim for higher, but just gotta look ahead. As you see, our major chassis upgrade, a weight reduction upgrade comes in, as well as our fuel efficiency upgrade. So a lot of good things heading into the weekend, but as you can see, our weekend plans are thrown into a flux because, well, it's going to be raining during qualifying. It's going to be mixed conditions, so it's going to be a lot of damage management or damage control going happening during qualifying. But we get another retirement announcement, and as we look to who it is, it's Kimi Räikkönen, the man who seat we took and then came back halfway through the season to fill in the second Red Bull seat, is retiring after only half a season at Red Bull. And I know I've given Kimi a lot of slack in this series, but in real life, honestly, Kimi, like, who doesn't love Kimi? And I'll be ashamed to see him go. Probably, my guess is after this year. And that will be a sad day for everyone. But anyway, heading into practice 1, and we go 8th overall. Pretty good. Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen look very pacey. Max, after a disappointing run at Italy, will be looking to bounce back. And Kimi, well, he's right behind us, but in a Red Bull, that's not very impressive. But what's surprising that Hamilton doesn't seem to have any pace at all. Yeah, but in practice 2, I mean, again, this is where we do our long run pace typically, and Vettel's all the way down. But again, like, I only do the practice reports just to show you exactly where you might expect it to be. And seeing that Albon is so high up along with Räikkönen, you know this isn't accurate. But here we are. We're just going to go forward into practice 3, and we top the session, which is typically what tends to happen, because that's when we're doing our qualifying pace. So we're just going full out. And Gio, if he was doing this qualifying pace with us, he's up in 7th. So can we see Giovinazzi repeat his Q2 appearance from last race? We'll wait and see, but Max is way down the order, and Kimi's way up, and Carlos is up. Let's head into qualifying. And here we are into qualifying, and as you can see, it is practically monsoon conditions here in Singapore that we have to go out on a full wet tire. And unfortunately, we have to set a banker because our car is not as reliable as I make it out to seem. And even on our out lap, you can see just how wet it is. Like, even in the qualifying graphic, this rain was pouring down, and as we just through the last sector, we lose the back end twice. You can see me counter steering as we're heading into turn 22. But here we are on our flying lap, heading to turn 7, entering turn 8 now, and tried to curve a little too much, and oh my god, we almost ended our qualifying session. That was scary. But we crossed the line, and pretty decent. But as we go through the session, everyone's setting intermediate times, and so we're going to be out of this session if we don't set a good banker time on the intermediate tire. So we go out again in Q1, and already you can see just how much better we're doing. We're already up 0.4 of a second through the first 3 corners, which is it's spectacular how much grip you can get on the intermediates compared to the wets. And here we are entering the final turn 23. We're 4 seconds up on our first lap on the wets, so we're definitely going to improve. And it's P8. So that has me a little bit worried. I mean, that being said, we do not have the best record at street circuits, if you remember our races at Monaco and Azerbaijan. But P8 is a pretty good result. As you can see, a few people actually are able to get out on the soft tires. So Vettel, Verstappen, Sainz, Gasly, and Albon do very well. Räikkönen is down the order. Charles Leclerc is way down as well. But so far, there hasn't been very big surprises. Not as I'd expect. And from here on out, it should be regular running because practice is going to be dry. Here we are, heading through the bridge section. And there's the mistake that we knew was coming through turn 13, that was. So yeah, not very impressive on our parts. So we have to go back, and that ruins our lap. And with little to go, we do decide to go out on a set of new soft compound tires because we need the extra grip if we're going to qualify out of Q2. But here we are, and this is our fastest lap, so we'll show the full course. And it's a very long lap around Singapore through turns 1 to 3, the quick chicane, heading to the kink of turn 4, entering turn 5, which there aren't many spots for overtaking, but it's better than Monaco for sure. Down the DRS straight, heading down through the kink of turn 6, heading towards turn 7 through 9. And here we are, braking a little. He's in a purple first sector. Very good times from us. Entering turn 8? Turn 8. Turn 9 coming up. Right here. Former Singapore Sling, I believe. And here we are, heading towards turn 10. Oh my god, can you tell I haven't studied the track map? 11 and 12 coming up, and I'm realizing I screwed up on my previous commentary, but I'll fix that in post. Heading to turn 13, the hairpin right now. Not keeping it as tight as I should, but we're still a second up on our previous time. Entering the second DRS zone. Through turns 4 into turn 14, heading towards the chicane of turn 15 and 16. And this part of the track is very technical. We have to hit every apex right if we're hoping to set a good competitive time. But we enter a little too deep into the chicane, exiting turn 17, entering the third into the stadium section where we go underneath the grandstands. Turn 19 coming up. A lot of 90-degree corners in this part. Turn 20 to 21 coming up. And here we go, entering turns 22, 23. Very fast, sweeping corner, entering onto start-finish straight. DRS open, 2 seconds up. And we get pole position. Provisional pole, that being, because it's only practice 2. And Albon is out. Typical. No shade on him. Y'all know how much I'm an Albon fanboy. But Verstappen also, on the softs, is not competitive at all. Kimi Räikkönen finishes second overall. Amazing job. But we shouldn't discount the Ferraris, because along with Bottas, they're the only drivers that qualified on the medium compound. So they get a free choice of tire. And they'll probably start the race on the mediums. So some varied strategies coming up. Oh, in our first run in Q3, we go way too deep into the hairpin of turn 13. And as we enter the trap, as we cross the line, P4. And we're dropping on the order. We're in P9 right now. So we have to set another time. And I should preface, I'm using a worn engine because around a street circuit, you don't really need that much pace. But I think it's starting to kick in right now because even on our last lap, we're down. And we actually lose P9 to Kimi. And we're starting this race in P10. So a dismal race for us. And we just got a lot of work to do. But with a worn engine, our pace is going to be down. And overtaking is going to be held to a premium. But that means that we have a lot of work ahead of us. So let's just head into the race.
Against the spectacular backdrop of the Singapore skyline, Formula One returns once again to do battle in what tends to become something of an endurance race, with the notorious sauna-like temperatures in the cockpit making for an extremely physically challenging Grand Prix. It's a 3.1-mile lap here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit with 47% taken at full throttle. It's hot, humid and bumpy around the 13 lefts and the 10 rights of mostly slow corners. But we should see speeds of up to 200 miles per hour along the Raffles Boulevard. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Let's talk about Skip. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Sainz, Sebastian Vettel, and Raikkonen. Hamilton, they've taken a grid penalty. Skip, Ocon, and Daniel Ricciardo. Albon, Verstappen, Lance Stroll, and Gasly, Kvyat, Giovinazzi, George Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. Magnussen and Romain Grosjean sits at the back of the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
After your podium last race, there's a lot of expectation in the team. Let's push for a points finish and see where we end up.
I mean, you got it, Jeff. I wouldn't put too much hope on that considering our worn engine, but we just gotta wait and see. And in terms of strategy, it's gonna be standard 2-stop race. The tires do wear quite quickly around the hot track temperatures of Singapore. So it's gonna be 2-stop from a set of softs to 2 sets of medium tires, and hopefully we can get a good launch off the line as we usually do, make up some places, and just act as a mobile chicane for those behind us. But here we go, the 5 red lights for the Singapore Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go. And it's a great start from us. We go up the inside of Kimi Räikkönen, up into P6. Great result from us. We're way too far on the inside line. We brake, but why did I brake so early? We lose 5 places heading into turn 3. We ride the curb too much. Verstappen goes around us P12. We're in P12, P13. We're just going backwards at this point as Stroll passes us. And now Gasly is all along our side. We try to squeeze him out into turn 4, down turn 5, onto the main straight. The DRS straight, without DRS of course, and Gasly just has pace over us that we just can't match. We're just going backwards. We're down to P14, P15 as Kvyat tries to go up the inside of us into turn 7, but we managed to squeeze him out and we retain our spot. But how did we lose so many positions? We lost 5 positions on the opening lap. As you can see, we brake way too early as they got too hesitant of diving down the inside. And on the straight, look how much space Gasly has over us. This is the power. This is what a worn engine will do to us. So I'm already starting to regret this decision, but it's engine management. We're trying to look ahead to the next races because we don't want to rack up unnecessary engine penalties. Because we try to go around the outside of Gasly into turn 10, and into the chicane at turns 11 and 12, but we just have no pace. And as you can see, it definitely is an engine problem because I don't think I'm driving that horribly aside from the first corner. Because as you can see, on the corners, we're catching up to Gasly. We're sitting green sectors, but on the straights, on the fast portions where engine power is essential, we're so far behind. He's just opening that gap. And as you can see, we dive down the inside of turn 7, but we just go wide and nothing is working. Like all the moves that typically I'm able to pull off. It's terrible. And as Jeff is talking, he reports we're having a loss of power. As I look at the MFD, we just go way wide. We miss our braking zone. Oh my god. A lot of yellow engine components. A lot of problems. And then now Jeff is proposing a new strategy. He's proposing that we go long on the softs and start pitting on lap 7. So we're going to try and basically overcut everyone. And I mean, I don't know much about this track. I don't know which strategy is probably the more viable one. But I think we just have to try something at this point. Because if we just go on the standard strategy that most people will probably be going on, we're not going to make up any positions. So it's best to try something new and see where it goes. But I pay too much attention, and I break my front wing. Oh dear. That being said, I don't feel a loss of downforce, thankfully, as we enter turn 11, due to chicane at turn 12, onto the bridge section, and breaking into the hairpin. I'm going to see if we can hopefully get within DRS range of Gasly, but nope, nothing happens. It's just terrible work from us. But here we are, the soft tire runners are already pitting on lap 5. So we're going to go 2 laps longer and see what we can do. The DRS open, even with DRS, and the fact that Gasly has harder tires compared to us, we're still not able to catch up to him. And we're sitting green sectors, so it's not as if our pace per se is terrible. Something's not working. Whether it's the car, whether it's the tires, whether it's the engine, I just don't know. But we're already at our pit window on lap 7, and well, at this point, like I was considering just going out a little longer, but you can see this. I think that this is around the point the medium tires are starting to outperform our used softs. We dive on the outside of Kvyat, who tries to go up the inside, use with his DRS advantage, and we're able to squeeze him out. But those Alpha Tauris are really giving me pain from both the front and the back. But as you enter the pit lane, it's changing a set of medium compound tires, and I'm praying that the boys can give us a quick stop. You know, stop on a set of medium tires. We'll get the tire advantage over those who have been using medium tires, and hopefully we can retain our position and not lose too many. But as we go, what the f? Why are they changing the front wing? I mean, I get it. There was a little bit of damage, but it wasn't bad. Why did the boys change? Oh, I should have. There's a setting on the MFD where you can ensure that the auto repair the front wings is turned off. You can say no change on the front wing. I should have done that. As we exit the pits, we're now in P20, and considering how little pace we have, we screwed ourselves. There's no working around it. We screwed ourselves. And as you go into the pits, what? There's only a tiny nibble of the front wing gone. There was no need to replace it. Oh god. The thing is though, we're setting purple sectors now. So I think maybe the tires are starting to help us regain some of that pace. We set the fastest lap at the end of lap 9. So maybe, just maybe, we're starting to find some pace. And now we gotta pass our teammate, Giovinazzi. But as you can see, that little glimmer of hope that we have pace has been thrown out the window because even with DRS, we're so far behind. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but for some reason, my engine has been eating all the fuel away. So I'm running down, I'm like already at half an extra lap worth of fuel. Well, typically I'm pretty decent at fuel saving, but I just have no fuel left to save. And this is a long race too, so we've got to look ahead to that. Trying to dive around the outside of Giovinazzi into turn 1. And literally all my tricks, all the dive bombs, everything, even DRS isn't helping us pass our teammate, who historically has been slower than us. We dive down the inside of turn 8. Nothing. Just nothing's working. We try to go on the outside of turn 13, and I'm just getting peeved at this point. So I'm just going to go for a ballsy dive bomb. Rich Mix and DRS. We're going to see if we can dive down the inside of turn 14. We dive down. We cut the corner. And we get a track limits warning. We almost hit the wall. And at this point, I kind of feel bad. We get a collision with Gio, too.
Easy. We don't want to see you take each other out.
And I've never got that angry of a radio message from Jeff before. But, I mean, I give him back the position because it just wasn't sportsmanlike to overtake the way I did. And as you can see on the replay, you can see just how much we cut the corner. Like, Gio already had the racing line. But as you look, and we go to Gio's front nose cam to confirm, I almost run my teammate into the wall, let alone cut him off. Thankfully, no front wing damage, but that could have been cataclysmic for the team. I'm getting like Nico Rosberg and Hamilton, Spain 2016 flashbacks, and our teammate's probably not very happy.
Yeah, guys, this guy is honestly so stupid.
Yeah, not gonna get a Christmas card from Gio. But now he's got to try and regain that position. But honestly, a part of me kind of wishes I kept the position, because I have no idea what to do. And now Jeff is telling me we have to save fuel, so no rich mix for us, unfortunately, which is going to make our job a lot harder. But anyway, here we are, entering turn 13 again to hairpin, probably the best spot for overtaking. And again, just no grip, no punch in the engine to make that move around Giovinazzi. I don't know what to do at this point. Like, I basically need to pray for a miracle. Because if this happens, we're going to have our worst result ever. Like Monaco, Azerbaijan, Hungary was better than this, thinking of all our nightmare races. But now that a lot of the medium tire runners are pitting, and Gio gets held out by Stroll as he heads out the pit, an awkward battle. So maybe this little scrap will help us pass our teammate. As we get brake checked by Gio, we're just going everywhere, trying to catch some slipstream down the main straight. But look, Gasly on the hard tires, new hard tires, just passes us as though he's on the softs. So I'm just thinking maybe the AlphaTauris just have superior pace at Singapore, because this is just unprecedented. Like if I was a Mercedes, for sure he'd pass me. As you can see, I'm squirming around trying to catch some slipstream. But Gasly is a rocket ship in that AlphaTauri.
That's for you guys.
He's actually running a very good race, and those AlphaTauris do look very pacey. As we try to go on the outside, whoa! Gasly hits the wall, and he hits our side pod. Thankfully, no damage. I mean, that damage model for 2021 hasn't... If this was F1 2021, we'd be in a spot of trouble with side pod damage. But you can see Gasly, I've never seen the AI make a mistake like that. He collides the wall, and he collides into us. Yeah, I've never seen that. And now his teammate Kvyat's coming out, so now we're basically back where we started. We have AlphaTauri in front, AlphaTauri in back, and we're basically in the position. So the overcut didn't work. We're just back where we started. God, I feel like Lewis Hamilton at Monaco this year. Oh God, it's terrible. Entering on the DRS straight, and Kvyat, like, to prove my point that the AlphaTauris have so much pace, Kvyat almost dupes us around the inside, but thankfully we're able to squeeze him out again. So this is just embarrassing. But here we go. We're within overtake range into turn 1. We're going to see what we can do. We dived on the inside of Gasly. Can we make this work? Oh, the nightmare won't end. This is just pitiful. Thankfully, there's a large gap between us and George Russell, but Kvyat finally makes it around us, and it's because of our stupid error. We dived on the inside, we cut the turn, and we collide at the right rear of Gasly, and the Frenchman probably won't be happy at that contact, though I don't think he noticed it.
Honestly, he's a f***er. He's a f***ing idiot.
I take that back, he did notice. Yeah. But people are pitting, and actually Verstappen is way down the order. Hamilton's way down the order. He's in P14 now in the pit stop phase. So I'm starting to feel a little better because a lot of top-tier drivers are showing no pace around Singapore. So maybe there's just something about the track that's not suiting our car. I don't know, but this has just been... I'll be honest, when recording this race, it was a nightmare. The worst part is that it was 31 laps of this, which was hell in itself. But now it's just having to endure this, not being able to overtake, just being stuck in a procession, and knowing we're out of the points. It's just terrible. Thankfully, the boys do give us, like, it's sad that 2.8 seconds is a good pit stop for the Alfa Romeo team. I just don't know what to do, and now we're battling in P20 again. But the good thing is that with the medium tires, we'll hopefully have a tire advantage. That being said, we did just see Gasly on an Alpha Tauri pass us very easily with harder tires. We said a purple sector, so we're already starting to look a little better, and we still have the fastest lap. Keep in mind, it's go a little wide into turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Very good section. Like, here's the thing, Singapore is a very nice track to race on, but just right now, it's hell. Thankfully, Gio pits, and we're able to pass them with ease, so we don't have to deal with all that teammate drama again. We try to go down the inside of Kevin Magnussen now to take P18. We're alongside, but he just has better grip as we hit the curb. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, it's just, at this point, I'm just being sloppy. But here we are, next lap, onto lap 23 now. See if we can take P18 now for Magnussen. We dive down the inside. We cut the curb a little bit, but we're still side by side. And we're going to see if we can finally take P18 from the Haas driver. And we finally get an overtake. Is it sad that, like, I'm celebrating overtaking Haas? Yeah, at least there's something good we can glean out of this race. And while the overtake isn't great on it in of itself, the side-by-side battle was amazing, to be sure. And as we can see, like, we're struggling to pass a Haas even. Like, we should have made the move ages ago. But we finally do by just braking late. So we've, like, okay, here's the test. If we can't pass Latifi on this turn, we can't. So there you go. So there's something wrong with our car on this track. I just can't explain it. We try to dive on the outside of Latifi and even down the DRS straight, heading towards turn 14. Just no pace whatsoever. We're side by side of Latifi. We should have passed them again because, keep in mind, our car is 2 places up in the performance index compared to Latifi, and we're only passing these guys by braking later. So I don't know what to do at this point. But we finally catch up to a long train of cars that has Verstappen, Perez, I think I see Hamilton up there too. So hopefully these guys will hold each other up and we can pass them maybe, but it's giving me solace the fact that quality drivers are having struggles right now as well as we go around the inside of Verstappen into turn... Was that turn 9? I think it was turn 9. No. Yes, turn 8, sorry. Oh my god. This has just been a terrible recording, let's be real. But here we go, down the DRS strip. Let's see if we can pass Perez in the Racing Point. And now this is the battle we're having here. Like, this is what I'd expect. Because the Racing Point, I think right now is like the 2nd or 3rd best car on the performance index. So it is expected, but all this fighting of Perez has left us open to Verstappen on the DRS straight through the kink of turn 6, heading to turn 7, and he pokes his nose. We brake late, a little too late as we fly around the corner, and Verstappen's gonna, right at the turn 8, where we pass Verstappen, he's gonna go around the outside on the hard compound and take the position. So we've been screwed, basically. He's trying to go on the inside of Verstappen into the hairpin, try not to repeat the mistake Gasly did, but we get a little too hesitant on the throttle, and Verstappen just goes around us on the outside. And we get a collision warning with him. And we're just getting warnings left, right, center. Oh my god. I am so done at this point. We tried to do the same move on Verstappen through turn 8. Impossible to do. Inside of Verstappen into turn 13. Can we get it done? No. He still has better grip. Granted, the Red Bull is a better car. We're going to see if we can go do a darting move into turn 14. But even from where we are with DRS, we're just not able to catch up to Verstappen. So I just don't know what to do at this point. It's terrible. But here we are, going around the outside of Verstappen. Great job, but oh my god! Perez... No. How was it? Like, he brake checked us, and because we had to give the position back to Perez, we had to leave it open to Verstappen. I'm mad at this point. I'm mad. I'm doing whatever it takes. I'm gonna die. I'm so done. I broke my front wing. Let's just reevaluate what happened. It seems that Sebastian Vettel retired from the race, and as you can see, just an engine failure on the DRS straight. A very dangerous part of the track, considering how fast we're going and how close all the cars are. So this could have ended very badly. I'm surprised no safety car came up, but as you can see, as we pause right here, we're accelerating. Like, and Perez, if we go into his cockpit, was braking at this point. So this could have ended very badly for us. Extremely poorly. He's braking, he's deaccelerating. As you can see on our steering wheel, we were in 5th gear. What? Latifi, what are you doing? Latifi takes out our front wing and he brake checks us. What the fuck? We lost both of our end plates. No downforce, and as you can see, the first collision for Verstappen, no front wing damage, fine. But Latifi, what is he doing? He pops out of nowhere, collides with us and takes us down. Then he brake checks us, and we have to go into the wall. And like at this point, there's no point changing the front wing. Our engine's blown. I give up. I give up. And this is the first of the game. We're retiring from the race. That's right. I'm gonna pull over, save the engine, and retire the car because I am so done with this race. Good day.
This shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope.
Spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions, and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today, and the results speak for themselves.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
I don't know what to say. I don't know. This was by far the worst race I've ever done in my life. And I mean, it was already going bad enough before Sebastian Vettel DNF'd. I mean, just having no pace at all, being constantly passed by cars, and having no moves. Like, any move that we could have easily pulled off before, nothing worked. Nothing worked at all. The only solace I have is seeing how other drivers were struggling. You can see Max Verstappen, Perez, Raikkonen, he was always kind of struggling, but even Hamilton just down the order. Not from where they usually are. It's weird. So it does make me feel better, but seeing the AlphaTauri so high up as well, like the pace they had was unbelievable, and the fact that they finished in the points means that they had pace around this track. Albon had a superb race from P11 to finish in P4 just outside the podium. And speaking of the podium, Bottas, Leclerc, Ocon again repeating his form in Hungary. It just seems that every time we have a terrible race, Ocon does really well. But I mean, I should be happy. This is great, just a mixing up of the results, but being outpaced by our teammate in the end just didn't do us any good. That being said, in the driver's standings, we're still P3, and I completely forgot I neglected to say in the last video. We're in P3 in an Alfa Romeo in the drivers. That's amazing. To put it into context, I mean, this also makes me feel a little better. Giovinazzi, he's still being beat by Lando Norris, who hasn't raced since Austria. Let that sink in. And we're still P4 in the constructors. Ferrari passes Red Bull, and things look good for them. And speaking of which, Leclerc has now tied our rivalry, which is honestly not as bad as I thought it would be. But anyway, that was Singapore, a race to forget. But now we just got to look ahead to Russia. Also not a very good track, but one where we hopefully will regain some form. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Share the video, share the love, and I'll see you guys in our next video. I'm Isolation Gamer 05. Stay safe out there. Peace out.